Andersen, Mensur Suljovic en Kim Huibrechts versloeg. Voor het eerst in een grote finale. Geef hem een hartelijk welkom. Steve Lennon! En dan zijn tegenstander die versloeg Terry Jenkins, Darren Webster, Kyle Anderson en Daryl Gurney onderweg naar deze finale. De nummer 1 van de plaatsingslijst, de nummer 1 van de wereld, viervoudig en verdedigend Dutch Darts Master uit Nederland, Mighty Mike, Michael van Gerwen!
This is it, the final of the Dutch Darts Masters. The world number 1 Michael van Gerwen looking to claim this title for an astonishing 5th consecutive year. It has been a baffling final day here at the IJsselhallen in Zwolle in the Netherlands. Van Gerwen really shouldn't be here. He survived 3 match darts against Daryl Gurney in the semi-finals. Darren Webster ran him very, very close. He has been nowhere near his normal levels of performance. Michael van Gerwen has phoned this in and he finds himself in the final. And he takes on a young man in his first senior final in PDC darts. A man who is ranked 51 in the world. And a man who has at times looked a complete bag of nerves. But the 24-year-old Steve Lennon from Carlow in Ireland has got a chance of glory.
Ladies and gentlemen, first leg Steve to throw first. Game on!
It is the Green Machine versus the man from the Emerald Isle. I'm Dan Dawson and Chris Murphy's in commentary. First to 8 claims the title.
Well, as you alluded to, Dan, what's gone before suggests that anything could happen in this final. Michael van Gerwen, the world number 1 against Steve Lennon, who moves up to number 50 in the world as a result of his run to this stage here. And Steve Lennon, well, of all the players on the senior circuit in PDC matches, take away the development tour, he's met Michael van Gerwen more than he's met any other player 4 times before this tournament. Hasn't beaten him yet, but he is getting closer, isn't he?
He is. Well, they first met at the Grand Slam last year, and he was pretty heavily beaten. Van Gerwen averaged almost 105 and beat him 10-3 in the first knockout round. That was your first meeting. Welcome to PDC darts. You do your apprenticeship, you play the best player in the world, and they batter you. You've got to do that at some point. This year, they've been meeting once a month. They met in February, March, April, and now May. All right, he was heavily beaten in February, 6-1, didn't play particularly well, only averaged 89, but he had another go the next month, and he was only beaten 6-4, averaged 99. And the next month, he took him to a last leg decider and averaged more than MvG. That was on the European Tour in the second round. He got closer to beating Van Gerwen in Munich than anybody else.
Well, he's down to 102 after a dozen darts in leg 1. Van Gerwen on 122. Narrowly misses double 16, having found the ball. Van Gerwen himself may get a shot at the ball at the end of this combination. He will. He can't find it. I'm not sure whether Steve Lennon is more comfortable when he's winning or losing, because at times today it has been, well, his run to the final has been as bizarre as anything else in this tournament. we've seen Steve Lennon on the Pro Tour many times playing fantastic stuff, and the European Tour indeed too. And I think that every game I've ever seen Steve Lennon lose, he put in a better performance than any game I've seen him win this weekend.
It's so weird. I've been saying for ages that Steve Lennon's a really promising talent. And I thought he could go and do some damage and have runs in things like Euro Tours or whatever. But I didn't think he'd do it in the manner that he's done it this weekend.
Yeah, well, it was 6-5 against Roby John Rodriguez in a crazy opening match. He came off stage to be greeted with the news that Rob Cross pulled out and he was given a bye into the final day. He then beat James Richardson early. Mensah Suljovic, he looked like an absolute bag of nerves. Gone mentally, it seemed, in the game, and then from somewhere pulled out this sublime 1-4-3 checkout to win the match. Found himself 3-0 down against Kim Huybrechts. Won that. He's here in the final, taking on the best in the world, who found himself in a spot of bother against Daryl Gurney and had to rely on mismatched darts from Super Chin.
Well, James Richardson got a match dart against Steve Lennon. At that last leg in that one, it took him 21 darts to win it. I mean, nobody wanted to win that game, it felt like. 8-8. 4-4. Van Gerwen does level this up. His doubling has been poor this weekend. That is the only word for it. He's not even hitting 1 in 3 of his darts at double.
14.
But yeah, Richardson got a match dart against Lennon this afternoon. Gurney missed 3 match darts against Van Gerwen. Whoever wins this, there are going to be players either back home or in the practice room or back at the hotel tonight thinking, how did I not beat the bloke who won it?
16.
Michael Van Gerwen tried a little mind game in the practice room before this match when they were going for the bull. Steve Lennon landed the ball first start. Van Gerwen couldn't do the same, which is why Lennon has the darts, or had the darts at the start of this match. And Van Gerwen said, "Are you going to give it to me, Steve?" I know that he said no.
58.
How did Van Gerwen take that?
Right. He gave a jokey comment back in Steve's direction, saying, "That's a bit selfish." I do wonder if Michael Van Gerwen had won it, whether he'd have give it away.
Maybe. You made the point earlier on this evening when you said that... look at this. Well, you said that Michael Van Gerwen has not been beaten by anybody left in the field in the quarterfinal stages this year. And he's played at times tonight like he didn't think anybody could beat him in the field, even though Gurney got 3 match darts against him. But that is a break of throw, and the world number 1 goes into the lead.
Yeah, this is an 80th Pro Tour final for Michael Van Gerwen. He's looking to win his 24th European Tour title and indeed his 11th title of 2018. Now, think back to that record-breaking year in 2016.
Yeah.
26 titles.
Yeah.
Michael Van Gerwen won. At this stage, he'd picked up 9. So he's on course to break his own record already, whether he wins today or not. But by Thursday night, he could have made it a dozen.
Well, this has shades of the Dutch Darts Masters 3 years ago, which was won by Michael Van Gerwen. He's won it the last 4 years in a row. Looking to make it 5, and he's looking to fill this up. He deflects into the 1, but leaves him on a 2-darter anyway. Yeah, that was a weekend where in the other half of the draw, Justin Pipe came through as Lennon. 140 keeps him interested in this leg. But for how much longer? Ooh, the top stops doesn't work for MvG.
Oh, having just been broken, Lennon has the chance to break back. he's got a dart. At the ball.
96. Michael, you require 40. Game show.
3-1 MvG, back-to-back 13 dart legs. Taking control of this final. Steve Lennon's first in senior PDC darts. Made 4 development tour finals, won 2, lost 2. But never made it to a final in a senior PDC event until this weekend. And he's done it without averaging higher than 91.33 in the entire week. That's his highest average, and that came against Roby John Rodriguez in the first round. Justin Pipe did similar 3 years ago when he made the final. He only played one person inside the top 20. He averaged no more than 92 and a bit, but he got in the final, and then Van Gerwen took him apart and won it 6-0.
You mentioned that Van Gerwen hasn't been anywhere near his best either, but one thing about Michael Van Gerwen is he does care about his performance levels, he does care about the numbers, he does care about the crowd, and he will be determined to go out on a high here and put on a show in this final.
Yeah, it's not just the winning. Of course he wants to win, and he's happy to win ugly. He would much rather win playing poorly than not win at all, but he wants to win, and he wants to win and play well. So often he says, all these people are here, they're paying their money, they're coming to watch, and we want to put on a show. He feels a duty to be the green machine, to be this all-conquering entertainer as well as a winner.
Well, Steve Lennon is going to need a showpiece shot of his own here, because there's a sense of inevitability already, not just over the outcome of this leg, but perhaps even about the outcome of the match. Because Michael Van Gerwen is halfway there.
3 legs in a row, all won on double top, all 13 dart legs. Michael Van Gerwen, well look, 13 darter, you're averaging around about the 113 mark. That's how good that is. Steve Lennon won't give anything away. Oh dear me.
He didn't give anything away in that throw.
Just had it taken away from him by gravity. Yeah, you won't see a great deal of change in his demeanour, but you may see a change in some of the darts, because he has looked nervous this weekend at times.
Mentioned at every round as well, he's played the complete contrast to him. Every single stage he's had Roby John Rodriguez, James Richardson, Mensa Suljevic, Kim Huybrechts, and now Michael Van Gerwen, all animated characters on the hockey.
Yeah. Oh my. Well, Michael Van Gerwen, we questioned after a couple of subpar performances in his opening 2 games whether this final session was when it was going to click and he was going to play fantastically. Well, he was pretty good against Kyle Anderson, but he wasn't great in the semi-final. He should have lost it. But in the final, he is very, very good right now.
And you do wonder where he's got the ability to find it. If you've been below par all weekend, at least most of today, what happens? What switch can he flick to turn it on? Because he is turning it on, and it is 5 legs in a row for Michael Van Gerwen.
Well, you cannot underestimate the chasm in experience of this situation between these 2 men. Michael Van Gerwen looking for a 24th European Tour title. He is on a ridiculous, unbeaten run in finals. MvG has not lost in his last 20 finals. The last final he lost was in May last year, the Dubai Darts Masters to Gary Anderson, where they both averaged 110. Every single final, Euro Tours, World Series events, major tournaments, Pro Tour events, UK Open Qualifiers, Players Championship. He's won every single one of them. He makes the final and he wins. And Steve Lennon will know that. And it makes it even harder for him to play his best game. His best game, we've seen it this year. He averaged, the last Players Championship weekend, averaged 103 against Robert Marjanovic. We've mentioned he's come close to beating Michael van Gerwen this year. He averaged 111 in beating Dirk van Dijvenbode earlier this year on the Pro Tour. He has got game.
Is he still in this game? Steve Lennon down to 84 with Michael van Gerwen. Unable to leave a finish after 12 darts. In a weird way, Steve Lennon may be more relaxed for this match, despite it being his first final, than he has for perhaps any other match in the tournament.
Possibly, but... oh, well... the pressure just mounts and mounts and mounts. But he deals with it very well, gets a second leg, Steve Lennon.
He kind of almost apologised there to Michael van Gerwen for winning that leg. I'm not sure why.
No, I'm not either. But yeah, look at the play. I mean, he's beaten established title-winning players. Kim Huybrechts, two-time Euro Tour winner. Mentor Suljovic, a Champions League of darts winner. Now, he had to go through the qualifiers to get... he smashed his way through qualifying. He only dropped 2 legs, beat Joe Mernon 6-2 and Gary Eastwood 6-0. I think you're going to see a lot of Steve Lennon over the coming years. I think he's fantastically talented. It's just ironic that his most high-profile success thus far in senior PDC darts, he has not exhibited anything like his actual talent.
Yeah, we have the advantage now of being able to look back through databases and see the kind of performances that players have been producing. The numbers are all there to be seen, and you can look and see that Steve Lennon is much more capable than he's shown this weekend. But this will be the standout run. No doubt that when Michael van Gerwen returns, he will hope that his first dart hits the bullseye, because he wants to do something special. But it's a 25, so he'll have to settle for treble 20 and double top.
Stevie require 160.
Well, there are faint hopes of getting back in this game, but it might take something magnificent like a 160 checkout for Steve Lennon to start believing that he can do this.
Just in case, Michael misses. He's missed twice, but not thrice, and Steve Lennon has an absolute mountain to climb. Steve Lennon has 2 legs on the board. Michael van Gerwen needs just 2 to be crowned Dutch Darts Masters champion for a 5th time on the spin.
Michael van Gerwen, as you would imagine, 180 for Lennon. It's his first one in this final. As you would imagine, he tops the average list in terms of the Players' Championship events. I mean, he's won a handful of them. He's averaging over 136 games. I mean, it's it's what you expect from Michael van Gerwen. There are only 140 players that have played those tournaments this year, and we've had 10 of them. Steve Lennon is 21st on the list. Only 20 players with higher averages. That shows you how good this lad is. He may be ranked 51, but he's going up, and at the minute, he's looking like he might get into the match play for the first time.
He's provisionally in the match play qualification spots. He's booted out Jelle Klaassen for now.
And that's just money that, he's not losing. He hasn't played there before. It's free money going on his ranking. He's going to go up and up and up, and he can play a lot better than he's done this weekend, and I think he's going to have a lot more success.
Michael require 161.
Yeah, and those 2 tails are reflective of how important the European Tour has become, because Jelle Klaassen was picking up most of his prize funds on the Euro Tour this time last year, and his form has dropped off the edge of a cliff. Now Lennon to cling on to the cliff edge.
Game shot in the 9th leg. Steve Lennon.
Right in the corner, but it still counts. If there is any hope of a miracle for the Irishman, that he can turn this around, I think this leg has to be won. He has to break the Van Gerwen throw.
98.
And I'm not sure the break is coming. 5 180s in the match, 4 of them to Van Gerwen.
Well, Michael Van Gerwen found himself in a very similar position to this in his semi-final match against Daryl Gurney. I was watching that game in the back room, no sound or anything, I was just watching the players, and Michael Van Gerwen looked so focused in the background, it was almost, the reading of his face was, I can still win this. In fact, I still will win this. I'm not sure whether Steve Lennon will have that same kind of belief, because that belief, if you listen to what Michael Van Gerwen says, comes from winning in the past. It comes from confidence, and it grows, it creates a monster. And Michael Van Gerwen looking to monster Steve Lennon here.
Oh. Well, Michael Van Gerwen deciding to have a crack at double 1, misses inside, so he'll go back to the double 9 if he's allowed back to the board. I said this might be a must-win leg for Lennon.
Michael Van Gerwen absolutely devastated with himself there for missing that double 1. I thought he was just going to give up. Give him the title, I'm rubbish, I'm no good. That's better. 1 away.
It has been a tale of 2 contrasting Euro tours these last 2 weekends.
Well, this one's been so crazy that either Steve Lennon's going to win this match or Michael Van Gerwen's going to hit a 9-darter now. Well done, Steve.
84.
Van Gerwen, last weekend his lowest average was 103. That's better than his highest average all weekend. I said this in the semi-final. If last weekend, by Michael Van Gerwen's own words, was his best ever tournament win, this might be his worst tournament win, and they've come a week apart.
I doubt that he'll disagree, Dan, if you pose the question to him.
I mean, look, 96 for the event still sounds pretty good, doesn't it? But we judge him by different standards. It is fully 11 points shy of what it was last week.
You could put 10 points on that and say it's not his A game. It's not the very best. So this is what Michael Van Gerwen at C minus.
139.
Well, there might be a chance to go out in style if Steve Lennon can't clean up 70 for a 4th leg.
54.
And he can't. So can the Dutch darts master, well, I was going to say produce one magic moment.
52. Stevie requires 60.
Getting angrier and angrier with himself here, Michael Van Gerwen. I almost get the feeling he wants Steve Lennon to win this leg so he's got another chance to do something brilliant.
Well, I think Van Gerwen tried to hit 2 bullseyes to leave tops.
Is he going to use bullseyes here? Decides to go a more conventional route.
54.
I wouldn't have put it past him there,
No,
you know.
I wouldn't
Stevie
at all.
require 4.
Steve Lennon to cling on, to preserve his campaign for at least another leg. And he does! And a slightly sarcastic celebration for Steve Lennon.
Well, strange things have happened at the Dutch Darts Masters. I'm not sure I could say stranger things have happened than if Steve Lennon was to reverse his fortunes in this final. Hang on.
140.
Well, the fans have turned up in their droves this weekend, and the main draw has been that man, Michael Van Gerwen, the world #1, looking to win this title for a 5th time. And they're getting the result they wanted, the Dutch fans, but perhaps not in the manner that they expected.
Well, Van Gerwen's next stop after this tournament will be to the O2 for the Premier League final. The first time he won it, he beat Phil Taylor by taking out 1-3-2. Can't manage it here, and Lennon has a chance to keep his faint hopes alive here.
For the best leg of the match. Double 18. Well, Steve Lennon. Pushed to the brink of defeat, he has finally found a way to break the Van Gerwen throw, and a hold of throw here for Lennon, and he's only one behind. Surely this weird weekend is not going to get even weirder.
Well, you said at the start of the match he's been getting closer. If that trend continues, it results in a Steve Lennon win.
He does. Lost by 7 legs, lost by 5 legs, lost by 2 legs, lost by just the 1 leg last time they met, when he averaged more than Van Gerwen. He's not doing that now, but his average is higher than it's been all weekend, in the sort of low 90s. And with Van Gerwen only up at the high 90s, it can be overhauled.
Well, he's in a really good position to move within 1 leg here, although that just handed the initiative back to MvG. 1 treble leaves him finish, but only if you can stay straight with the last dart. And Michael Van Gerwen is even more frustrated there because he would have left 170.
You always get the feeling at times this weekend, at times this year, he's found it so easy that he's been setting challenges for himself. Well, what do you want, Michael? That's 114 scored.
Well, Steve Lennon will need to produce something special to deny Michael Van Gerwen match darts here. Not going to happen. Is Michael Van Gerwen going to do something silly in a silly Dutch Darts Masters?
He survived 3 match darts against Daryl Gurney in the semi-final. And he's just missed 2 championship darts against Steve Lennon.
What has Steve Lennon got left? 2 darts. Double 10. But Michael Van Gerwen will take aim at that target again to try and retain his Dutch Darts Masters crown.
It is a fabulous 5th title of the Dutch Darts Masters for Michael Van Gerwen, the best player from the Netherlands, the best player in the world, and by far the best player at this particular tournament's history. He was not anywhere near his best this weekend. He shouldn't have won it.